Built for strategic defense, these bunkers are some of the most impressive engineering feats of warfare. From underground labyrinths to fortified mountain hideouts, here's 15 of the most impressive military bunkers ever built. Starting with number 15, the Burlington Bunker in the United Kingdom. Hidden beneath the quiet English town of Corsham in Wiltshire lies one of the most ambitious and secretive Cold War-era bunkers ever built, the Burlington Bunker. Originally known as Site 3, this underground complex spans about 35 acres, and it was designed to serve as the British government's emergency headquarters in the event of a nuclear war. The location was chosen due to the presence of a pre-existing underground quarry which had been used to mine bathstone for centuries. During World War II, these underground chambers were repurposed for military storage, and that laid the groundwork for what would later become one of the most fortified underground structures in British history. The building was capable of housing up to 4,000 government personnel for at least 3 months without any external assistance. It contained a fully operational water treatment facility, an independent power station, a communications hub, and ventilation system designed to keep fresh air flowing. One of its most fascinating features was a BBC broadcasting studio meant to allow the Prime Minister and other officials to address the nation in the event of an attack. To ensure its secrecy, only a handful of top officials were even aware of the Burlington Bunker's existence. The entrance was disguised, with access points hidden within unassuming buildings and military facilities above ground, but despite its size, the complex was built to be as invisible as possible. However, by the 1980s, technological advancements and changes in nuclear strategy rendered Burlington Bunker obsolete. The development of intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs, meant that nuclear strikes could be carried out with much greater precision, reducing the likelihood that government officials could successfully escape to the bunker in time. In 2004, the UK government officially declassified the Burlington Bunker, revealing its existence to the public for the first time. And while now the bunker is abandoned, it remains one of the most significant military installations of the Cold War era. Number 14, the Raven Rock Mountain Complex in the United States. Hidden deep within the mountains of Pennsylvania, the Raven Rock Mountain Complex is one of the most fortified military bunkers in the U.S. It's commonly referred to as the Underground Pentagon. This underground facility was constructed in the early days of the Cold War. The idea for Raven Rock emerged following the Soviet Union's successful detonation of an atomic bomb in 1949. This event sent shockwaves through the U.S. government, prompting immediate action to protect the nation's leadership from a potential nuclear attack. Construction on the complex began in 1951, with workers carving out massive underground chambers from solid granite. It was finally completed by 1953, just as the Cold War tensions were escalating. Now, the entrance to Raven Rock is heavily fortified, with blast doors weighing over 25 tons each, designed to seal off the bunker in the event of an impending attack. Inside, the facility includes command centers, intelligence offices, dormitories, medical units, cafeterias, and even a small subterranean lake that serves as a water supply. But one of the most important features here is its role as an alternate command center for the Pentagon. Should the Pentagon itself be destroyed, key military decisions could still be made from within the bunker's fortified walls. Over the years, Raven Rock has undergone multiple upgrades to keep up with the modern warfare threats. The bunker was temporarily reactivated after the September 11th attacks in 2001, as officials feared further attacks on U.S. soil. Its communication systems have since been updated to integrate cybersecurity defenses, ensuring that military command remains operational. Today, Raven Rock remains fully operational, serving as one of the United States' most critical military installations. And while specifics of its activities remain classified, it does continue to play a key role in U.S. national security strategy, ensuring that the country's leadership has a secure place to operate in times of extreme crisis. Number 13, the Albanian military bunkers. Albania's military bunkers are unlike any other defensive structure in history, not because of their size or complexity, but because of the sheer number and the ideology that led to their construction. Between 1967 and 1986, under the paranoid rule of communist dictator Enver Hoxha, Albania embarked on an unprecedented fortification project that resulted in the construction of over 173,000 bunkers scattered across the entire country. These bunkers, ranging from small one-person pillboxes to larger, more reinforced command centers, were intended to prepare Albania for a full-scale invasion that never came. The project started at the height of Hoxha's isolationist policies, following his complete break with the Soviet Union and China. Hoxha was convinced that Albania was under constant threat from foreign invasion, whether from NATO forces, Yugoslavia, or even the Soviet Union itself. To prepare for this imagined apocalypse, he ordered the construction of a nationwide network of reinforced bunkers. Each bunker was constructed using reinforced concrete and designed to be highly resistant to artillery fire, bomb blasts, and even small-scale nuclear attacks. Larger versions, often referred to as command bunkers, were designed to house higher-ranking military personnel, and they were strategically placed near cities, borders, and coastal areas. To justify the extreme military expenditure, Hoxha personally oversaw testing of the bunker's durability. In one infamous demonstration, he ordered a tank to fire directly at a newly built bunker while a lead engineer was inside. When the structure withstood the impact, the project received full approval for mass production. This test became a symbol of Albania's indomitable self-defense strategy, reinforcing Hoxha's belief that Albania could stand alone against the world if necessary. Today, Albania's landscape remains littered with tens of thousands of these bunkers, many of which have been repurposed by locals in creative ways. Some have been converted into homes, cafes, hotels, storage units, or even art installations. The government has made attempts to remove or repurpose some of them, but due to their extreme durability, demolishing them is both costly and time-consuming. While these bunkers may not be high-tech underground command centers like those built in other countries, their sheer ubiquity, durability, and political circumstance that led to their construction make them one of the most impressive and unusual military fortifications in history. Number 12. The Cheyenne Mountain Complex in the United States. Beneath 2,000 feet of solid granite, deep within the Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado, lies one of the most legendary military bunkers in the world. Built during the height of the Cold War, this massive underground fortress was designed to house NORAD, or the North American Aerospace Defense Command, and served as a command center capable of withstanding a direct nuclear strike. With its massive blast doors, self-sustaining infrastructure, and strategic importance in monitoring threats, Cheyenne Mountain has remained a key component of U.S. defense systems for decades. Construction began in 1961, requiring workers to blast through millions of tons of granite to create a network of tunnels and chambers. The result was a highly fortified underground city, complete with 15 three-story buildings mounted on shock-absorbing springs, allowing them to withstand the shock waves of a nuclear explosion. Inside, it was designed to function as a fully operational military command and control center. It included computerized radar and satellite monitoring systems, allowing NORAD to track missile launches, aerial threats, and space activities in real time. It had its own power, of course, water reservoirs and air filtration units, ensuring it could remain operational even if cut off from the outside world. During the Cold War, Cheyenne Mountain was one of the most classified locations in the world, playing a crucial role in nuclear early warning systems. If a Soviet missile launch was detected, this facility would have been one of the first places to respond, assessing the threat and coordinating a counterattack. Well, despite technological advancements, Cheyenne Mountain continues to serve as a critical backup facility. While it may no longer be the primary hub of U.S. defense operations, it's still one of the most formidable and resilient bunkers ever built. Number 11. The Granite Mountain Records Vault, United States. Deep within the Wasatch Range of Utah lies one of the most secure and mysterious underground bunkers in the world, the Granite Mountain Records Vault. Unlike other military bunkers designed for warfare, command ops, or nuclear survival, this facility was constructed with a very different mission: preserving human history. Owned and operated by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the vault was built to safeguard some of the most valuable genealogical and historical records on Earth, ensuring they survive any potential catastrophe, whether nuclear war, natural disaster, or global conflict. The origins of the vault date back to the 1950s, a period when Cold War tensions and the looming fear of nuclear devastation led many organizations to seek ways to protect irreplaceable knowledge. The church had been collecting birth, marriage, death, and census records from around the world for decades, and as their collection grew, so did the need for a facility capable of storing and protecting those documents. In 1965, the Granite Mountain Records Vault was completed, carved directly into the solid granite of Little Cottonwood Canyon, about 20 miles southeast of Salt Lake City. The vault itself is buried 600 feet inside the mountain, with reinforced steel blast doors at the entrance capable of withstanding extreme forces. Inside, it contains a huge network of tunnels and chambers filled with temperature-controlled vaults that house over 3.5 billion microfilm images. These images document billions of names from civil, religious, and census records worldwide. And of course, security at the Granite Mountain Records Vault is extraordinarily tight. It's not open to the public and access is strictly controlled. The exact details of the security measures do remain classified, but reports suggest the vault features surveillance cameras, motion detectors, and advanced biometric access controls. Over the years, the church has worked with various international archives, historical societies, and even government agencies to expand and enhance the collection. The records stored in this vault have been digitized and made available online through Family Search, allowing millions of people around the world to trace their ancestry. Number 10. The Dugway Proving Ground in the United States. The Dugway Proving Ground is located in the deserts of Utah and is one of the most secretive military installations in the world. Spanning over 800,000 acres, this facility is larger than the state of Rhode Island, and it's primarily used by the U.S. Department of Defense for the testing and development of chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear weapons and defense systems. It was established in 1942 during World War II as part of the U.S. military's efforts to develop and test chemical and biological weapons. At the same time, concerns about Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan using chemical warfare prompted the United States to expand its own capabilities in that area. One of its most significant features is the highly secure underground bunkers designed to store and test hazardous materials in a controlled environment. These bunkers are of course reinforced to withstand chemical and biological contamination, featuring airtight containment systems, air filtration units, and decontamination chambers. Throughout the Cold War, it played a major role in the development of chemical weapons, conducting tests on a variety of lethal substances. Some of these tests still remain classified, but declassified records indicate that nerve agents like anthrax and other deadly pathogens were experimented with here. During this period, bioweapons testing on animals was common, with researchers studying how different agents affected living organisms. One of the most infamous incidents associated with Dugway happened in 1968, when a test involving a nerve agent known as VX gas went wrong. A cloud of the deadly toxin accidentally drifted beyond the testing grounds, resulting in the death of over 6,000 sheep in Skull Valley, Utah. The event, later referred to as the Dugway Sheep Incident, caused public outrage and led to increased scrutiny of biological weapons testing. Today, Dugway continues to operate, though its focus has shifted towards defensive research rather than offensive weapons development. It tests modern chemical detection systems, protective suits, decontamination technology, and unmanned aerial vehicles designed for battlefield reconnaissance in contaminated environments. Its heavily fortified underground bunkers, classified ops, and historical significance in chemical warfare research make it one of the most impressive and yet controversial military installations ever constructed. Number 9. The Swiss National Redoubt. Switzerland is famous for its neutrality, but behind this peaceful image lies one of the most comprehensive bunker networks ever built, the Swiss National Redoubt. This underground fortification system was designed to defend Switzerland against invasion, ensuring the country could continue functioning even in the event of a total war. With hundreds of hidden bunkers, fortified tunnels, and mountainous strongholds, the National Redoubt is considered one of the most impenetrable defensive systems ever created. The idea of the National Redoubt dates back to the late 19th century, but it was during World War II that Switzerland fully committed to the concept. Surrounded by Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy, Swiss military planners realized that if a war broke out, defending the entire country would be impossible. Instead, they developed a strategy where the Swiss army and government would retreat into fortified mountain bunkers, making an enemy invasion logistically impossible. One impressive feature of the National Redoubt is the self-sufficiency of it. Many of the bunkers contain food storage facilities, power generators, water filtration systems, and even hospitals, allowing the Swiss military to survive for months without outside help. During the Cold War, the Swiss government also built millions of civilian bomb shelters, ensuring that every Swiss citizen had a designated bunker to seek refuge in during a nuclear attack. Today, Switzerland remains the most bunker-prepared nation in the world, with over 360,000 fallout shelters. Though many military bunkers have since been decommissioned, some do remain operational and classified, but they're ready to be activated if necessary. Number 8. The Beijing Underground City in China. Beneath the streets of Beijing, hidden from the millions of people walking above, lies one of the largest and most mysterious underground bunker networks ever built, the Beijing Underground City. Constructed in the 1970s during the rule of Chairman Mao Zedong, this vast system of tunnels, shelters, and military command centers was designed to protect the Chinese government and population from a potential nuclear war. At the time, tensions between China and the Soviet Union were at an all-time high, with fears that a nuclear confrontation could erupt. Mao ordered the construction of a massive underground complex beneath Beijing, capable of housing over 1 million people. This project, built with the help of thousands of civilian workers, was kept highly secret, and it spanned an estimated 33 square miles. The network under the ground contained schools, hospitals, factories, warehouses, and even theaters, allowing life to continue even in the face of nuclear devastation. Some tunnels were rumored to be connected to strategic military facilities, allowing leaders to escape in the event of an attack. But despite its ambitious scope, the underground city was really never used for its intended purpose. As relations between China and the Soviet Union improved in the 1980s, the tunnels were gradually abandoned, with many parts falling into disrepair. For years, the existence of the underground city was kept secret, but in the 2000s, some parts were open to the public, revealing these labyrinthine tunnels, old dormitories, and military command posts. However, the Chinese government has since reclassified many areas, fueling speculation that sections of the underground city remain active and operational. Though it's faded from public attention, its still mysterious tunnels and fortified chambers remain a reminder of a time when global war seemed inevitable. Moving on to number 7, the Greenbrier Bunker. The Greenbrier Bunker, also known as Project Greek Island, is one of the most well-hidden strategically designed bunkers in American history. Located beneath the Greenbrier Resort in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, this top-secret Cold War-era facility was constructed as a continuity of government bunker for the United States Congress in the event of a nuclear attack. The idea for the bunker emerged in the 1950s as Cold War tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union intensified. With the threat of nuclear war becoming a real possibility, the U.S. government sought to establish secure locations. Unlike facilities like Raven Rock and Cheyenne Mountain, which were built for military command, the U.S. Congress needed its own underground refuge, one that could be activated at a moment's notice and remain undetected. Construction began in 1958 under the guise of a resort expansion project. Engineers and workers built a massive underground complex directly beneath a newly constructed conference center. The bunker was designed to blend in seamlessly to the resort's existing layout, with hidden blast doors, concealed ventilation shafts, and false walls that disguised its true purpose. The bunker itself is a reinforced nuclear-hardened structure covering about 112,000 square feet and capable of housing up to 1,100 people for up to 60 days. The most impressive feature of the bunker were the massive blast doors, which weighed over 20 tons each and could be sealed instantly in the event of a nuclear strike. For decades, the bunker remained fully operational, stocked with supplies, and regularly updated with the latest communication technology. But the existence of the Greenbrier Bunker was finally exposed in 1992 when the Washington Post published an investigative report revealing its true function. Today, the bunker's open to the public. They offer guided tours that showcase its massive doors, underground chambers, and the Cold War-era equipment, and the lengths to which the U.S. government went to protect its leadership during the nuclear age. Number 6. The Yamantau Mountain Complex in Russia. Deep in the Ural Mountains of Russia lies one of the most mysterious bunkers, the Yamantau Mountain Complex. Now, unlike many Cold War-era bunkers that have been declassified or repurposed, Yamantau remains an active classified site. Of course, this has led to intense speculation, with theories ranging from it's a nuclear command center to a high-tech doomsday bunker for Russian leadership. Construction of it began in the 1990s following the Soviet collapse. The timing of the project was particularly strange. Russia was facing severe economic hardship, yet the government poured billions into building an enormous underground facility. Satellite images captured by the U.S. intelligence agency showed extensive excavation work, tunnel construction, and what appeared to be a large subterranean structure. Some reports suggest the facility could house up to 30,000 people, making it one of the largest bunkers in history. The Russian government has given conflicting explanations for its purpose. In the 90s, officials claimed it was a mining project, then later described it as a food storage facility. And at one point, they called it a treasury repository. Well, none of these explanations have convinced Western intelligence agencies, who believe Yamantau is part of Russia's continuity of government strategy. Unlike declassified U.S. bunkers like Raven Rock or Cheyenne Mountain, the Yamantau complex does remain active. But the lack of transparency here fuels speculation that it could be a nuclear war headquarters. With tensions rising between Russia and NATO, Yamantau has once again become a hot topic among military analysts. Well, regardless of its true purpose, this complex stands as one of the most mysterious bunkers. Its size, secrecy, and strategic location make it one of the most impressive military facilities ever built. A silent, hidden fortress buried deep within the Russian mountains, waiting for a war that may never come. Number 5. Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center in the U.S. Located in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, the Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center is one of the most critical bunkers in the United States. This highly secure compound, buried within the mountain, has been designed to withstand nuclear blasts, electromagnetic pulses, and large-scale disasters, ensuring that the highest-ranking government officials can continue operations, even if Washington, D.C. is destroyed. Built during the Cold War, Mount Weather has remained an active and classified facility, playing a key role in America's emergency response strategy. Now, Mount Weather's origins date back to the 1950s, a time when the threat of nuclear war loomed over the United States. The site was selected due to its natural stability, with the surrounding mountains providing protection against shock waves and radiation. Construction of the bunker was highly classified, and for decades, even members of Congress had little knowledge of its existence. One of the most significant features of Mount Weather is the state-of-the-art communication infrastructure, which allows direct contact with military bases, emergency response agencies, and even the White House in case of crisis. The facility is believed to be capable of sustaining thousands of personnel for months, featuring fully stocked food supplies, medical centers, water purification systems, and power generators. Though much of its operations remain highly classified, leaked information from time to time suggests that government officials, including members of the president's cabinet and high-ranking military personnel, have designated spots in Mount Weather. Despite this brief exposure, most details about Mount Weather remain classified, with access restricted to only the highest levels of government. Its combination of advanced infrastructure, the top-secret operations, and strategic importance makes it one of the most impressive military bunkers in the U.S., standing as America's ultimate insurance policy in the event of a catastrophe. Number 3. The Central Government War Headquarters in the United Kingdom. Deep in the countryside of Wiltshire, England, hidden away from public views, lies one of the United Kingdom's most highly classified and fortified Cold War bunkers, the Central Government War Headquarters. Built as a continuity of government facility, this vast underground complex was designed to house key government officials, military personnel, and the British Prime Minister in the event of a nuclear war. Often referred to as Britain's last resort, the CGWHQ is one of the largest and most sophisticated nuclear bunkers, capable of sustaining thousands of personnel for months without external support. The bunker was constructed in the 1950s at the height of the Cold War, when tensions between NATO and the Soviet Union raised the terrifying possibility of a full-scale nuclear conflict. Covering an estimated 35 acres, the bunker was designed to accommodate 4,000 government personnel, including the Prime Minister, key military leaders, and emergency response teams. The facility really was a fully self-sufficient underground city that contained living quarters, a hospital, power plant, a BBC broadcasting station, water treatment facilities, and even an underground railway system that connected it to nearby military sites. The facility, of course, also contained war rooms and intelligence centers, where high-ranking officials would coordinate the country's response to a nuclear strike. The BBC studio was specifically designed to allow the government to address the public in the aftermath of an attack, ensuring that national morale and order could be maintained. But despite its elaborate design, the bunker was ultimately never used for its intended purpose. By the 1980s, advances in nuclear missile technology meant that a full-scale attack on Britain could happen with little to no warning, making it less likely that government officials could evacuate to the HQ in time. Today, much of the CGW HQ remains abandoned, though parts of the facility are still under the control of the UK Ministry of Defence. The central government war headquarters does stand as an impressive underground bunker, though it was never used in an actual wartime scenario. Its scale, self-sufficiency, and critical role in Britain's Cold War survival strategy make it one of the most remarkable bunkers in history. It remains a chilling, yet fascinating reminder of the nuclear age, a fortress of last resort that was built to preserve the British government in the face of total annihilation. Number 2. The Moscow Metro 2, Russia. Beneath the streets of Moscow lies a secretive and controversial underground bunker network, the Moscow Metro 2. Unlike other military bunkers designed to withstand nuclear attacks or serve as emergency command centers, Metro 2 is believed to be an entire hidden underground city built to provide safe passage and shelter for Russian leaders in the event of war or a national crisis. The origins of Metro 2 date back to the Stalin era during the height of the Cold War, when fears of a nuclear exchange between the Soviet Union and the United States were at their peak. Stalin, known for his obsession with secrecy and personal security, allegedly ordered the construction of a hidden underground railway system beneath Moscow. This network was meant to ensure that top Soviet officials, including members of the Politburo and KGB, could evacuate to secret bunkers and command centers. Its construction allegedly continued throughout the Soviet era, with additional expansions made under Khrushchev, Brezhnev, and even post-Soviet governments. Some reports claim that the tunnels are large enough to accommodate armored convoys, enabling the rapid evacuation of Russian officials during a crisis. The entire system is rumored to be equipped with self-sustaining power grids, air filtration systems, food storage, and nuclear blast doors, making it one of the most well-protected military complexes in the world. But despite the secrecy, evidence of Metro 2's existence has emerged through various leaks and accidental discoveries. In the 1990s, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, urban explorers in Moscow claimed to have stumbled upon hidden underground entrances and tunnels. Former Soviet officials and Russian defectors have also spoken about the system, confirming that it was designed as a top-level security network for government officials. Even the CIA has included references to Metro 2 in its declassified reports, further fueling speculation about the scope and its capability. If Metro 2 is indeed as vast and as sophisticated as reports suggest, it would rank among the largest and most advanced bunker systems ever built. The possibility that an entire hidden transportation network exists beneath Moscow, ready to evacuate and protect the country's leadership at a moment's notice, is both fascinating and a bit chilling. Whether it remains a relic of the Cold War or an active part of Russia's military strategy, Metro 2 stands as one of the greatest underground mysteries of modern history. Number 1. The Kremlin Bunker. Hidden deep within the heart of Moscow, buried under 200 meters of reinforced concrete and steel, lies one of the most secure and impenetrable underground military bunkers in the world, the Kremlin Bunker. This top-secret Cold War-era facility, officially known as GO-42 or Tagansky Protected Command Point, was built to ensure that the Soviet Union's leadership could survive a full-scale nuclear war and continue military operations from a fortified command center. The origins of the Kremlin bunker date back to the late 1940s, following the start of the Cold War and the rapid development of nuclear weapons by both the United States and the Soviet Union. To ensure survival of key government figures, Joseph Stalin ordered the construction of an underground complex beneath the Kremlin itself, one that could serve as a nerve center for Soviet military operations in the event of an attack. Inside the bunker, the Soviet government established a fully operational military command center, Equipped with secure communications tech, war rooms, and intelligence operation hubs, the bunker also contained dormitories, medical facilities, and food storage areas, ensuring that government officials could survive for extended periods without relying on the outside world. But the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 led to speculation that the Kremlin bunker had been decommissioned, but evidence suggests otherwise. In the years following the Cold War, the Russian government continued to invest heavily in underground infrastructure, updating and modernizing existing bunkers to adapt to new threats. High-ranking officials and military analysts believe that sections of the Kremlin bunker remain fully operational, serving as a crucial part of Russia's current nuclear defense strategy. Unlike many other Cold War-era bunkers, this one remains shrouded in secrecy, with a strict security measure preventing outsiders from accessing anything, while a small section of the facility known as Bunker 42 has been turned into a Cold War museum. Today, though, the Kremlin bunker stands as a formidable underground military fortress, whether it serves as a modern-day nuclear command center, a hidden government refuge, or a relic of Cold War paranoia. Its importance, unparalleled fortification, and legendary secrecy ensure its place as one of the most impressive military bunkers ever built. Thanks for watching, everybody. Click here to watch the top 15 most advanced military bases. Thank you to our channel members.